Hi everyone, my name is Martin and welcome to another great edition of MP Astro. Now, as you can see here, I've got a fantastic little setup here. I've got the mighty ST80 that I've modified. Again, if you've not seen the Super Tune series of the ST80, please check it out at the top. And I've also did some reviews on this Skywatcher Avant mount, which I've done quite a few years ago. Again, highly recommend that you check those videos out regarding this mount. I've done quite a lot of extensive work on it, and I must admit, I'm never disappointed with its performance. This little mount is simply outstanding. Now, what I don't get about this mount is that it's a perfect match for the ST80. It really is. Now, I've seen the Skywatcher series of the ST80 mounted on a very old EQ-1 mount, and yes, it does have a single axis motor drive. However, I'm not really happy with that type of mount. One, it's an outdated mount, and two, it has its limitations. This Skywatcher Avant AZ mount can do quite a few things on there. The design of this mount is much better than the EQ-1 mount, and what I don't understand is, because it's so better constructed, it's also a lot more sturdier. The tripod is decent on it, and I just don't understand why Skywatcher have discontinued with this mount, because this mount is such a joy to use. It's easy to use as well, and to be honest with you need to check those videos out. It really is. This mount has been discontinued. Yes, it looks very similar to the Skywatcher Star Adventurer mount. However, this is a much more low budgeted mount, and to be honest with you, this mount is absolutely outstanding for its price and the performance it delivers. You can achieve 10-minute exposures with this mount, and I'm not joking here, guys and girls. I really have achieved 10 minutes exposure time, but I'll be honest with you guys and girls, I am literally pushing the limits of this mount. 10 minutes is pretty hard to get, but considering it does have an ST4 lead, you name it, there's loads of functionalities with this mount. It really is such a capable mount. There is a low budget one as well, another mount similar, which is the StarQuest. That's a similar build, but it's just purely just an EQ mount. This mount in particular offers the ability, not just an EQ mount, you can convert it to an AZ mount. So you've got best of both worlds with this mount regarding. It's such a fantastic piece of equipment. However, obviously skies has not been great for me for the past few months. I've not been able to achieve anything so far, and I'll be honest with you, it has been frustrating. However, there's one thing that I have in particular about this mount. There is something I can do more on this mount, and to be honest with you, I've done a lot of research and I think I've come with this idea. It really is such, I don't know why people haven't thought of this idea. It may upset a few viewers out there, but I don't care, because at the end of the day, this idea may help many other people get into astronomy and able to grasp what they need to do, all right, achieving their goals, and also retains their interest into astronomy. And that's what we need to do in this community, is to get new people involved, get them interested, and simple ideas like this might actually help. So before we start, please hit the like button. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe onto my channel. Also, please share this video out. This idea might help someone who owns this particular mount, might get frustrated. This solution might be the key to get people to start looking up. And also, don't forget to hit the bell. Alright, if you click on the subscribe and you click on notifications bell, hit that bell. will keep you notified for any new videos coming out very, very soon. So I've come up with this idea. I don't know if it's going to work. I can't guarantee you guys and girls it's not going to work 100%. But if you're interested and you want to find out more what I'm going to do to this mount, please keep watching and let's do this. So if we take a closer look on the Skywatcher EQ-AZ Avant mount, I notice there is something about this mount. Now, the main problem with this mount is that yes, it's an EQ mount, but it doesn't have a polar scope. But there is one thing I have found out, is if you take a closer look on here, there is a metric 4 screw bang on in the middle there, which to me is a great opportunity to do something about what's behind here. Now one thing I've noticed, I've took it apart using a 2.5mm Allen screw drive socket. You just take this off and you remove to reveal the actual clutch system. There is a solid base here. Now the good thing is about this is that you can take off the clutch plate all the way through and it exposes the hub nut and bearing and all that. There is nothing behind there. It's just a solid aluminium piece there. So there's nothing for this device to get caught up, which gives me an awesome idea. And it is actually by mistake as well. I actually found something in my house and I'm going to show you this awesome little trick. I'm really impressed about this, all right, and it's really good to see that this metric 4 screw is not in the way of the mechanics of this mount. So what I found is this. Now here I have part of some plumbing parts, which is a 22mm diameter part of a pipe connection. Now I will link up the description below so that you can get the exact same size part for this, all right, and it's just a brass fitting for a 22mm pipe. The kit includes a copper washer, all right, which just seals in there, and it's just got a blanking plug. Okay, so this is like a blanking plug system, so that when you have a 22mm water pipe, for example, you can clamp it down and seal up the end, okay, of that pipe. That's all it is. Now what I've done is I have drilled a 4mm bang on dead center of that end cap. It literally is spot on dead center. Now this already had, where it was machined, it had a mark already on there, all right, and all I did was just gradually drilled 1mm, 2mm, 3mm up to 4mm diameter drills, so that this hole is bang on dead center of that end cap. Now to show you, I have a smaller connection, and I'm just going to show you. As you can see, if you take a closer look, you will see where it's been machined, you can just make out the dead center where the hole is. All right, so where it's machined there, you can see right in the middle where that dead center is. And all I did was just use a marker pen to just point a dot bang on where the machined part is. It's literally like that. And I just gradually drilled through the brass fitting, not a problem. So that's how I done it. Then what I got was a stainless steel metric 4 end cap. This is literally just 15 millimeter long. I've just cut it down. You can get the exact size. Again, the links are in the description below. And this will replace this screw, because this screw is a bit on the weak side. So I wanted to screw something all the way down, nice and flush onto the mount. Okay, so that's basically these components, right? Also, what I've done is if I take this apart, you will see I've slightly sanded down the inside olive of this copper olive clamping ring. I've also sanded down slightly, not much, but just a slight little bit of fine emery cloth just to clean up the surfaces a little bit more. That's all it takes. So that's all I've done so far. So we've got this brass fitting with a dead center metric 4 thread, like so. So the next item I want to show you is this. I have got a laser pointer. Now, this laser pointer, I've ordered it online. Check out the description below. You'll need this type of laser pointer, and the reasons for it will become apparent later in the video. Now, bear in mind, you must check with your country laws regarding laser pointers. All right, not all laser pointers are legal, even though you can buy them on any website, Amazon, eBay, you name it. They're all available. But the one thing you got to make sure and be clear of is whatever country you're at or where you live, you need to check the laws regarding laser pointers. So depending where you live, you need to check the laws. Now, I'm not going to go too deep within the laws, but I know within UK law, you can use class 1 or class 2 grade laser pointers. Yes, they are not illegal to use, but however, they are illegal if you misuse these devices. All right, so be careful within the laws of your country you live. All right, you must check it out first before you buy. So I'm not going to go too deep on laser pointers. However, with this laser pointer, I must admit this does have an awesome range. So you got to be very careful with these laser pointers, right? So some can be very dangerous, but this one doesn't cost a lot of money, and this laser pointer is okay, all right, for if you're going to generally point objects in the night sky. But again, I must warn you with a disclaimer, please do not misuse these devices. These are very dangerous, and to be honest with you, you have to be careful where you purchase this item, okay? So check within your laws within your country before you buy this product, all right? So I'm not a big fan of laser pointers, and personally I would never use these as an aiming device, particularly use it like a finder scope. You can have finder scopes fitted with a laser pointer. They do work effectively, but make sure that nobody is in the vicinity of where the pointer is directed. All right, so I'm not responsible for your actions. All right, I'm just sharing this idea. But again, check the laws within your country before you buy any of these products, because not all products are safe to use, and this one particular is literally within limits within my country. So check before you buy. All right, make sure that. So you'll need one of these devices. Now this one in particular has a 22mm diameter sort of main body. It can be recharged with a USB, so there's an inboard USB battery within this laser pointer. But one thing you'll need is you need an O-ring to fit over the diameter of this laser pointer, and you're just going to use this O-ring to slide over the main body like so. Now this laser pointer is pretty bright. It does have a very long range. All right, I don't know exactly what sort of range distance it is, but again, this is a dangerous device, so make sure that wherever this laser pointer is activated, it's not in the vicinity. You're not shining against other people. All right, so be warned. Now what I've got like, it's just a simple aluminium ring, all right, clamping device, all right, and I just put a metric 5 or metric 4 thumb screw in there like so. And what this will do is, where the laser pointer has the button activated, this clamping device will clamp over like so, and when I want to use it, I just tighten up the thumb screw like so, and what that does is it keeps the laser pointer activated. And with this, it'll hold the button in place. When I'm not using it, I will always switch it off. Okay, so once I've stopped using it, I switch it off and remove this clamping system completely. Okay, so we're back to the mount, and we're going to mount our brass fitting with a dead center hole. Now to attach it to the mount, all we do is we get our new bolt and the original washer, and with that we take off the brass part first and reveal the cap. But again, depend on your fitment. I prefer to put the washer behind there. Okay, and then what I do is I then put my bolt through the hole. You then place the washer onto the mount, and then place the end cap and bolts through the washer, and then get your 2.5mm hex bit or screwdriver, and then screw in like so, and there you go. You've now got the end cap nice and secure. It's not going to go anywhere. All right, you don't need to over tighten it. All right, it's not going to go anywhere. The good thing is now you can still activate the clutch. All right, and it still allows you to rotate the mount without no dramas whatsoever. Okay, so with the washer behind there, it will stop this clutch from going against the brass fitting, right? And it will stop there, and you'll have plenty of free movement on the mount. We get the female end of the pipe, all right, and then you get the copper ring, all right, compression ring, and you just line it up like so, and you're just going to screw in until the ring is nice and flush like so. Okay, so that's nice installed. With the copper washer clamping and the female coupling is on there, you then get your laser pointer, and then you're going to slot it through like so, and as you can see, it fits nice and snug, okay, like so, and then there you go. You can then tighten up slightly. You don't need to tighten it with a wrench, just hand tighten it like so until the laser pointer sits at the bottom of that cap. You can then place the O-ring all the way down, so that just to give a bit of security, like so. Everything's all secured, there's no free play, just make sure there's no free play. And as you can see, we've got the clamping device onto the on switch and the laser pointer is activated. Alright, as you can see now, as we loosen the clutch, okay, as you loosen the clutch, you can now rotate the mount on the ORI axis up and around, okay, and as you can see, as we rotate it all the way around, this laser pointer is not catching on any parts of that mount, okay, and as you can see, what an awesome little idea it really is. The whole laser point system and the mounting bracket is nice and secure. What we got here, in theory, we have got a polar scope which will enable you to line the mount to Polaris, the North Star, by a general laser pointer. So the theory behind it is to work like a polar scope, though bear in mind that this device is not going to be as accurate as a polar scope. So then, guys and girls, as you can see, we've got the ST80 with my normal, well, with my modified Astro camera, which is the Canon 600D. I've put in a fill flattener and the legendary filter that I've shown to get rid of the fringing on the ST80. So I've got the bar filter in place. I won't be auto guiding because I'm using the basic mount. Now at the moment we've got the polar scope laser pointer, it's not switched on. So the whole idea is once I do the pole alignment, I'll be switching that off straight away. Obviously when I look up at the night sky, I need to look for any surrounding aeroplanes or anything that's nearby. Unfortunately the moon is out, so it's a full moon, so deep sky imaging is totally out of the question. So what we're trying to do is do a bit of pole alignment using that laser pointer, and as you can see there, we'll not be able to see the laser pointer, but when I switch her on like so, you'll see a laser beam, but as we go up, we line it up to Polaris. Now Polaris is actually in the sky, but it doesn't show very well on the camera. So what we need to do is I'm going to have to do a time-lapse video so that it will show Polaris quite well, but you can't really see up there, right, with this video camera. So I'm going to do a time-lapse video so that you guys and girls can see what I'm doing, and all I'm doing is adjusting and make sure that my mount is on level ground, and I'll be adjusting the altazimuth bolts and the latitude bolts or altitude bolts to line up that laser pointer towards Polaris. It's simple as that. Well done, guys and girls, it looks like the camera can pick it up. So I'm going to do a pole alignment. The video quality is not so great, so it'll be a bit blurry, but you can just make out what I'm doing. I will do a time-lapse video which will make it a little bit clearer, but as you can see here, I'm going to line up Polaris now using that polar finder, and I'm just going to use the laser I need to adjust the latitude, so increase it all the way up. And it's so easy, you don't actually need to look at the mount itself. Just line up the laser beam and then I just line up Polaris, and there you go. We're literally lined up to Polaris. I don't know if the camera can see it, but I'm going to have a look myself. Okay, I'm just going to move the pan camera upwards. Right, so I've panned the camera upwards, you can just see Polaris now. And there you go. I'm using that laser pointer to line up towards Polaris. So the laser pointer does work. It's quite simple. It literally taken me seconds to do that. Alright, so it's not 100%. Alright, this alignment is only a rough alignment. This is not precise polar alignment. So if you want to be using this mount for taking long exposure of deep sky objects, I'm afraid that would be probably a hit and miss sort of thing. But as you can see there, I am lined up, and as we pan across, you can make out some of the stars. But like you say, there's a lot of interference on there, but we're definitely lined up, because if we pan across, I think you start to see the plough. You can just see the plough there. Yeah, there's the plough. So yeah, you can see the plough, which just shows you that is Polaris. Like I say, what I'll do a time-lapse video now just to start again, because then the time-lapse video will show exactly what you need to see. Okay, so we've lined up to Polaris there using that laser pointer, so it does work. So as you can see, we are polar aligned with the mount using the laser pointer, and we have switched it off. Bear in mind, when you're using it, check around you in the night sky, making sure there's no aircraft passing by. As you can see, we have none. Alright, so it's safe to do so. Once you've done, always switch it off, don't leave it on, never misuse it. Okay, and as you can see there, we polar aligned that mount pretty accurately. Bear in mind, this is not 100% foolproof. You will not be able to achieve long exposure photography doing this method. All right, this is only suitable for visual. You may get away with using long exposure, but I can guarantee you it's not 100%. As you can see, I've been tracking for quite some time, and as you can see here, we are imaging the moon. If I dim that down, we've been at this target for a good minute, alright, which is really impressive to see, because I'm literally in the center of that field there, and as you can see there, we've got the moon very nicely positioned. And because we're tracking in RA axis mode anyway, the moon has been in that camera's view for a good 2 minutes. So I reckon I could get away with some long exposure, but who knows. But as you can see there, I'm really impressed with the results. The polar alignment on this mount really is quite remarkable. So again, it is only suitable for this type of mount, right? This is usually more suitable for visual purposes. As you can see, I'm not auto guiding, and we've remained on that target. Bear in mind, I'm using 3 times zoom as well on the moon, and we're still comfortably into view. As you can see, the mount is the RA axis mount, motor drive is still tracking. All right, it only does it at 1 time speed, but it's enough to get by. And as you can see, we are tracking the moon quite well. Now the moon will eventually move out from the field of view of the camera. All right, and this is why this method, using the laser pointer, will give you reasonable polar alignment, all right, which is more suitable for visual purposes. So ideally, I will be observing the moon with an eyepiece, and I can enjoy the night sky that way. Long exposure, you will be hit and miss. It may work, it may not work, but we're willing to find that out. We'll just try and point to a target. I mean, I love to point to a deep sky target, but the moon will totally whitewash the entire view. But we'll give it a try, all right? We'll give it a try, guys and girls, to prove to you, does it work or not. But what I will do is, because I've got the moon in nicely focused, and we've got it in a way that I can take a video of that. So I will be taking a nice video shot of that moon, all right, and it'll give me a nice decent AVI file for me to stack the image and give me a really nice detail of the moon with this telescope. So as you can see, we're taking a close-up view of the moon, and you can see through the Canon 600D we're tracking the moon really well. All right, this is at 3 times zoom modification, so the actual scale up if the actual scale will be half the size of this. All right, it will be very small, but this is with 3 times zoom, and you can see straight away we've got a nice amount of detail of the moon surface, using that contrast booster filter to get rid of the purple horrible halo around it, right, which the ST80 does produce. But this one is a modified one, and this is what you'll get. All right, yes, it does look more yellow in color, but you won't get any of the fringing out. All right, you won't get all that fringing around the edges, and we've got a very nice crisp view of the moon, and we are tracking very well. And I must admit, poor alignment with the laser pointer, it has worked. This image, or this video of the moon, will drift over time, but we have got good tracking there. Really impressive results. And I've got this camera set at ISO 200 as well, and at 1 0.002 of a second, which I can dim it down a bit to reduce the glare a little bit more. But as you can see there, we've got a nice image of the moon, really nice crisp view. Seeing is okay, it's not particularly great, but stunning tracking, and I must admit, what awesome results there. And we've been on that target for some time, and we're going to collect an AVI file through there, and wow, I must admit, unbelievable. Yes, the polar scope laser pointer has made a massive increase on the tracking. So as you can see, well, we can't really see it very well through this camera, but we're imaging Orion Nebula, which is a bright deep sky object. It's the only thing what I can do at the moment. I've set the camera at ISO 1600 at both setting, and we are tracking, right, using the RA axis. I am not auto guiding, alright, just to make sure. Alright, this is purely unguided, relying on the actual laser pointer, and I've got mixed feelings about this. Alright, this might not work, but what I've done is I've set the timer at 15 seconds at ISO 1600, and we're going to see what results we get. I'm going to dim down the exposure, right, so we don't want to ruin the shot. Right, this is very wishful thinking, alright, but what we're going to do is we record it, take the shot, and see what results we get. So the timer's on. Alright, this is literally being very ambitious, alright. Right, so it's taken the shot. What we will do is we'll switch her off, okay. And see what results we got. So check the camera. No way. No freaking way. Come on, focus camera. Just bear with me. No way. It has worked. Alright, bear in mind that the camera, obviously my house is in the way, but we have got an Orion Nebula using the laser pointer as rough polar alignment. Now I'm actually really impressed with the results. Let me just flick through the images. No freaking way. Right, here's one that's actual 1600 by 15 seconds. Just bear with me. Obviously the camera's just not showing it very well. Okay, let me just get rid of this. Yeah, so the camera's not showing it, but let me just dim down. Let me just dim down. My God, you got to be kidding me. Seriously? we've already got any star trail in there. No way. It has worked. So maybe I've got a little bit of star trailing at 15 seconds, but it's definitely worked. I just can't believe it. I really can't believe it. No bloody way. So yeah, what can I say about that? I'm actually quite amazed really on how I've achieved that. It's sort of baffled me. It really is, really amazed me so far. I was not expecting to see that at all, really. I was not expecting to see that. That really has worked. So what we'll do is we'll check. We're going to set the timer to 30 seconds. Okay, so 30 seconds. Oh, come on, camera, focus. So 30 seconds. We try again. Same again, ISO 1600, 30 seconds. Now if I get 30 seconds through this, I'm well impressed. I don't think I'm going to push it too far because the moon will totally whitewash the image. Alright, I've got to be careful not to overexpose because the sky is not completely dark, and it's a real shame that the moon has to be up as always. But up to 30 seconds. I'll now switch that off. So we'll go back to that image again, and as you can see, we've totally whitewashed the image. So if I dim that down and then set my camera exposure, okay, hold on, I'll just sort that out again because it's flipped over. Try again. Right, so that's the 30-second one, and as you can see, we've got a whitewashed image already, which is not great. Alright, so it just shows you that I must admit we have got some star trailing. Yeah, so we have got some star trailing, and if we zoom in, you'll start to see the star trailing. You can just see it there. I'll tell you what though, not much star trailing, but it's definitely there. Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely got star trailing there. Yeah, slight star trailing at 30 seconds. So as you can see there, well, I've proved to you guys and girls that using this method, the laser pointer is not 100% accurate. So yes, you can do a bit of deep sky. Maybe you're restricted to do the brighter, maybe you're restricted to do the brighter deep sky objects. But it's not bad. Alright, I can actually take an image of Orion, not a problem. So what I'll do is I'll set the camera, and we're going to go down to I think 15 seconds is okay, but I'm going to go down to 10 seconds because 10 seconds is probably the one I want the most. Alright, 15 is probably okay, but I don't want to whitewash the image, but I'd rather take loads of exposures and do it that way. Alright,
So I'll just cancel that and show you again. Just bear with me. Yeah, my camera angles are not so great. Don't know why my camera's not playing ball. But as you can see there, yeah, we've got a decent-ish picture there. So 10 seconds exposure is probably more than ample. Alright, the sky conditions aren't great. 15 seconds will be okay, but 30 seconds is not acceptable. So yeah, it just shows you that you can use a laser pointer polar scope method, but it's not 100% accurate. So you cannot beat a polar scope. If you want to use the polar scope, you have to use a dedicated polar scope for more accurate polar alignment to ensure long exposure. However, the method is very great. It's good for tracking the moon and planets. That seems to be very effective, without a doubt. However, we're pushing a luck here, but 30 seconds is the most I can get. Don't forget, this is unguided, so I am not guided in any way. Alright, this is unguided, 100% real stuff you see there. Alright, no fakery involved, no cuts to the video. And as you can see there, we have got an image of Orion Nebula using 10-15 seconds exposure. Not a problem, it does work. However, you cannot beat a polar scope for more accurate polar alignment. But again, it is touch and go. We are tracking and we are taking pictures. So what I will do is I'll keep to that exposure and just take loads of pictures of Orion through this telescope. Not a problem.
Well, guys and girls, what do you reckon? I mean, absolutely fantastic results. I just can't believe that this simple modification using a simple 22mm blanking plug for a 22mm pipe, what you buy for a plumber's part, right? It really just amazes me how simple and effective this simple modification I've done there. And I must admit, I didn't think I could achieve 30 seconds exposure time. Yes, I wasn't really quite polar aligned, but it comes pretty close. And I must admit, as you can see those results, it's a real shame that I had the full moon, because if I had been able to image the much fainter deep sky objects other than the Orion Nebula, my apologies in advance to you guys and girls. I wish I had the clear skies, you know, that's more frequent. But again, this is a real astronomy channel. I'm not here just to give out false claims to you guys and girls and tell you complete lies. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of astro channels out there, but a lot of it can be a lot of BS. And believe me, there's a lot out there are just doing it just for views, and they're not giving you the real content that you guys and girls deserve. And that's what my channel is all about, is to deliver the real evidence, the real facts. And I must admit, I try to do my videos, yes, they're all a bit long, but my videos are there. We have no cuts to the video. You get what you get. And that's why I'm trying to maintain the ethos of this channel, is to be real to you guys and girls. Yes, it is pre-recorded stuff, but at least there's no cuts to the video, there's no edits. All you see there is what you see there, exactly. And that's what you guys and girls deserve. So yes, I put in advance that my videos are a bit on the long side, but you see too much channels out there that you'll see all the fancy pictures, but they don't show you the real stuff, the real frustrations, you know, the real problems that we all as astro imagers and astro observers will face from every night. Every night's different. Seeing conditions can vary. You have the moon, it's up. You get the light pollution. You get the dreaded Starlink satellites keep ruining the shots. Then you get problems with your equipment that goes wrong. All these things need to keep into consideration, all right? And that's what it's all about, this channel, is to be realistic to you guys and girls. Because in the day, you see too many channels out there, and it's always guaranteed this is happening, and it's always 100% perfect through and through. This channel is not all about that. This is to keep you guys informed of how I conduct my modifications or any of the projects I do or any reviews. You get that 100% true, you get that 100% true evidence, right, which you need. And I must admit, this modification, yes, it is a bit of a bodge job. But the good thing about this modification, it's simple to do. It costs a few pence for the blanking cap and nut, £10 for a laser pointer. All right, it really is simple to do. Yes, I'll be honest with you guys and girls, it may help a few people get to polar line a lot more effectively. Bear in mind that every EQ mount, these basic mounts, don't have a polar scope. If I could find a way to mount the iPolar or the Pole Master, would be a great idea to do that as well and mount it there than using a laser pointer. But the problems with this mount is there is no space to adapt such device to enable you to do polar alignment that way, because that will be much more accurate than using this laser pointer. The laser pointer is a cheap and effective way to give you rough polar alignment. And I'm going to be honest with you guys and girls, it's one of those things that it is touch and go. It's not 100% guarantee you're going to get perfect polar alignment, but you do get that rough polar alignment, which is just enough. And as you can see, 15 seconds, 10 seconds exposures through the DSLR camera was enough for this setup. Again, I did push it to 30 seconds, then I started to get star trailing. But again, it might depend every night. Maybe some nights I'll get spot on, maybe I get 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes exposure, maybe even 10 minutes exposure time. But again, don't you forget, guys and girls, I was unguided. I wanted to maintain that. I did not want to use the guide scope method, and because at the end of the day, you do get better tracking through auto guiding. I just want to make sure that this device that I've made works perfectly. And to be honest with you, it's not bad. It's not particularly great, but it's not bad. All right, and I'll be honest with you guys and girls, it's a simple modification. Feel free to try this out, and I'll be honest with you, it really does work, and it does make polar alignment such a joy to use. You don't even need to go like you saw me on the time-lapse video, trying to bend over and then trying to align it up that way. You don't really need to do that either. You just want to get that beam roughly to Polaris and you should be good to go. This is just rough polar alignment. This is not guaranteed precise polar alignment. That is only achieved with a proper dedicated polar scope or a polar scope camera. All right. Those devices are much more accurate and you're guaranteed to get that accuracy. This, however, only gets you roughly. But again, it's such an effective little mod. I'm really impressed on how it's performed. I'm absolutely amazed how much the tracking, even though it's an Ori axis motor drive, I was able to track the moon very, very well. And the moon remained in the picture of that DSLR camera quite a long time. And believe me, it did take a long time. So I managed to get a good 2-3 minutes, I managed to get a 2-3 minutes video of the moon, all right, through using this setup, and I really am impressed. Bear in mind, I will make a disclaimer. Laser pointers are dangerous, and I'll be honest with you, do not misuse these devices. They can actually seriously hurt other users, you know, you name it, and also aircraft in the night sky. So be responsible for your actions. I'm not responsible. This is just an idea I'm going to share. It is not illegal to own a laser pointer, but you must check out your country's laws. You can buy these from Amazon or eBay, but again, be careful what class of lasers you're going to buy, and please read up the laws within your country, all right, so that you're not breaking them. Yes, you can own a laser pointer as long as you're responsible, all right, and don't misuse them. Like I've showed you in the video, as soon as I polar aligned, after I checked the sky for any aircraft in the nearby area, I made sure before I use that laser pointer, as soon as I'm polar aligned, I switch it off straight away. There is no point having that laser continuously located into the night sky, and that will result in endangering the aircraft that's moving around in the night sky. All right, so please be responsible for your actions. I'm not responsible. This is the disclaimer to cover my back. All right, again, check the laws within your country. So as to that on, again, if you like watching this video, please hit the like button. And again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe onto my channel. And don't forget to hit the bell. By hitting that bell will keep you notified for any new videos that I publish very, very soon. And again, ideas like this, in particular, are absolutely so simple, very effective, and it helps newcomers get involved into astronomy. So things like that might actually help. So again, thanks for watching, and I wish you all clear skies.